Oh man, here we go, man. About damn time, man. We got Boonk Gang, aka John Gabbana, aka now Holy Gabbana. How you doing?
I'm gonna go ahead and switch that around for you. It's John Gabbana, aka Holy Gabbana, FKA Boonk Gang.
Why switch it around?
Because I'm not Boonk Gang. I'm formerly known as Boonk Gang. That's not a name I go by anymore. My name is John Gabbana, also known as Holy Gabbana, formerly known as Boonk Gang.
When people see you out and they say, "What's up, Boonk Gang?" How do you react?
I don't. They get
Do
ignored.
you, do you correct them?
And if they come to my face and want to talk to me, yes. But if they're speaking from a distance, I don't react. They get ignored because I'm unresponsive to it. Because if I respond to it, then I feel like I'm still attached to it. But I'm no longer attached to that name. Like it's just a name that's out there. It's no longer I have no longer attachments to it. So I don't respond. But if somebody come to my face and bring up my past, then of course I introduce them to who God made me today. But other than that, nobody get no reaction to me. I was just telling we was at the football game, and I was just telling my boy, I'm like, bruh, if I responded to everybody, like a lot of energy would be, I'd be exerting a lot of energy, like because so many people come up to me. But honestly, I say it's 80-20. 80% of people, they see everything that I have going on today. They see how I gave my life to Christ. They know my name is John. And 20% of people is still familiar with my past and they don't know what's going on today.
Wow,
Now it might even be 10. But
that's crazy. I would think more people will still call you Boonk Gang simply because you put up millions and millions and millions of views on social media, and you're still going viral today. People still talk about you today.
yeah, I mean, it's not. It's it's a lot more people come up to me and they just they're thankful with how bold I am with my faith in Christ. They're thankful with my testimony and how powerful it is because a lot of people come up to me now and they're like, "Man, your fire ignites something in me." Like when you just stood on the table and shared, like just on the table and just start speaking the gospel, man, that ignited my faith. Or just man, just your hearing your testimony like made me cry and just did something to me. Like I get a lot that, and that
Mm.
just shows you that you see I haven't put a video out under my old alias because that's an alias. My actual name is John, but I haven't put any content under my old alias in like 5 years.
Hmm.
And I've been sharing my faith a little bit over 2 years, actually kind of going on 3. But just goes to show you that the God I serve is real and that He's actually moving in my life because I'm not like media and blogs, they don't post me no more like they used to when I was out there reckless. And now I just post my content, not even for recognition, because this not why I serve God. This not a publicity stunt. Like I actually gave in my life to Jesus Christ because I had a real encounter when I was in jail. You get what I'm saying? And like what I share, I'm just openly, y'all just get to see this walk. You know what I'm saying? But this is not for that. Before, everything that I did was for social media, it was for views, it was for the public, it was for that. It was for that. But this is not for that. And it just shows like the amount of people who come to me throughout the day. I'm like, bro, I just want to shake your hand. I just want to give you a hug, bro. Your testimony, what you speak, your videos, it just moved me. It just touched me. It just shows you how not only how powerful God really is and that He's actually moving through me, in me, through me, but it just shows you that he's real, that he's alive. You know what I'm saying? So
How often are you noticed in public?
everywhere I go, and it honestly, it honestly like it's eye opening to me because I didn't even like I came out 2017 and I was 20 years old. I was 20. I'm 27 now. So from 27, so 6 years I've been out. When I first came out at 20 years old, going on 21, I didn't realize what I was doing, like the influence I had to the world. But now, like, it's like now I wear it, but I didn't know how to wear it at first. It was wearing me, but now I wear it. And but now it's like when I go out, like I expect people to know who I am. I expect, like I have an expectation now, and because I mean I'm stopped everywhere I go. People in my face everywhere I go. Somebody want to talk to me everywhere I go. Somebody want a picture everywhere I go. And this is my everyday single life because I don't live like a celebrity and where you know, I'm secluded, I'm isolated from the world and everything like that. Like I go out and I do random things. Like I go to the park. I still go to like Publix. I go to Target. I still like I'm in the malls. I'm outside. I'm in the streets.
Right.
I'm in the hoods. Like you know what I'm saying. So, bro, everywhere I go, every single day.
So at 20 years old, I mean, based off your story, what was the first viral video? Was it an accident? Were you doing this on purpose
No,
to
it
get
was
famous, to
intentional.
provide for yourself?
Yeah, it was intentional. My first viral video was definitely intentional. Um, uh, you see, I was working at the Miami International Airport. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, born and raised. I moved to Miami a little bit after I graduated high school, and then I started working at the airport. And when I was working at the airport, like my background, to sum it up, is I wasn't raised by my dad because he was in and out of prison. I was raised by my mom and my stepdad. My stepdad died when I was 14
Mm.
of bladder cancer. So my mom, she left raising me and five other kids. And being raised, like I was in an abusive home. Um, like uh, I experienced, of course, like the no lights, no water and stuff like that, stealing water from the neighbors, uh, having to eat food out the dumpster, go dumpster diving, having to provide for myself at 15 years old because my mom stopped buying me clothes. Like I went from like after my stepdad passed, I was wearing his hand-me-downs. I got tired of that. I started go stealing my clothes out of like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, uh, Target. I started stealing my clothes. Then at 17, my mama kicked me out. So at 20, when I moved to Miami, going through all that, I'm like, bruh, I feel like I've been through enough where I could share this with people. Like I've been through enough. And then I'll say this, because even like I say, my dad, I wasn't raised by my real dad. I know him, but I wasn't raised by him. But I live in a household where I got five other siblings who were raised by their biological father. And how that make a child feel?
Mm.
I'm like, dang, I don't have my dad, but y'all got y'all dad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now I'm around y'all family. I'm not around my family. And then I'm around family, supposedly family, who tell me even though I'm not their real nephew or even though I'm not their real cousin, they can still do this and that. And like, how did that make a child feel? So about 20 years old, I'm like, bro, I feel like I've been through enough where I really wanted to share my pain and my trauma with the world. But I'm like, it's so hard for nobody without a voice. I didn't have a voice then to put my story out there. So creative old me, I'm like, bro, if I could get famous some way, somehow, I could tell my story. Because that's all I ever wanted to do was just tell my story. Because I've been through a lot. And as a kid, I'm like, this can't be for nothing. Because I didn't ask to be here. I didn't ask to be born into this world. And I used to put messages like that in my old music coming up. But I'm like, this has to be for something, because as a kid, I'm getting beat on, I'm getting abused. I have no food, no clothes, I'm in the streets. This has to be for some reason. If God chose to give me life, he didn't have me go through this suffering as a child for no reason. I always just wanted to get my story out there, but I had to get a platform first, because other than that, I'm just regular old John without a voice. And I
Right.
always knew that it's just something deep down inside of me. I knew that I was created to have a voice. And at 20 years old, I just decided, like, the way I came up under the Boonk gang, I knew that was an outlet for me to build a platform. I just knew it was just something that was inside me. I know if I went that route of entertainment, that I would be able to build a platform. And when I first did it, my video started going. My first video got 50,000 views.
Doing what? Doing what?
I went into Popeyes. Now my first video got 50,000 views from you. So a kid from Jacksonville, Florida, from the hood, getting 50,000 views, and everybody's posting me. I'm like, bro, I'm onto something, But I mean, and it as you can see, it worked. It just God had his way of orchestrating things, because now my platform is not only for me to share my story, but it's to share the gospel of Jesus Christ.
So this first video on Popeyes, is it a skit? Is it planned out, or
No,
do you just go in there?
it wasn't a skit. It was honestly, I just went and did it. I just went and did my thing.
And did you expect this to do 50,000 views first day?
No, I didn't.
So it goes crazy, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna do this shit again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause I was I mean, like I say, to me, I seen like I had, man, it's like when I did the video, um, I immediately, like, my eyes opened. And after that, my mom, she had kicked me out, and she told me everything was a phase. And so I was in the streets of Miami. I was homeless. And, police officers, they told me to stop. They told me to do this and that. But I specifically told the officers, I say, one day this is going to make me rich. This is going to make me famous. And I'll be able to share my story to the world.
And I mean, what do you mean by police? Police are contacting you because of the videos?
Because police was involved with when I was doing the videos at first.
Okay. And I mean, it's all type of videos now that you look back, like, I guess you jumped on a table and fighting at a church and things like that. None of that was skits. All of that was like real.
I mean, how is somebody going to plan a church interruption? Yeah.
I mean, so what started that whole situation in church?
I mean, just an idea. I mean, it's like if you know who I am from my past, and you know what I did, it's just, I mean, nothing started it, bro. Every video it's just like this, to put everything together. It's just this guy who was once Boonk. He had an idea that he could go viral and build a platform if he could do the craziest things ever. And that's how every video came about. I had an idea that the more videos I did, I could go more viral. But I had to think, what's something that people never seen before? And that was the mindset of every video. It started out as legit, as real, and I was going to jail. And then in the middle, like before I really blew up, I met a guy named Jimmy, and he bonded me out of jail. And when he bonded me out of jail, he said, "Hey, you don't have to throw away your life for making content like this." He said, "What you need to start doing is start setting these videos up." And I mean, I can't tell you from which video was set up, but
Right.
before I really blew up, I started staging them. Yeah.
How did your life change over, you're doing these videos over time? How did your life change?
My life changed when the videos caused me. Well, it's not actually. It wasn't even the videos because I was facing 3 years in prison. I had a hit and run, 3 possessions of firearms, and a possession of narcotics, unprescribed, something like that. Possession of narcotics, possession of 3 firearms, and a hit and run. I was facing 3 years in prison, and facing 3 years, I had a 10-month trial, and I got sentenced 2018 before Christmas. The judge, I got sentenced 5 months, so it went from 3 years to 5 months. 3 years of prison time to 5 months county time. And when I got sentenced, the judge gave me like 2 weeks to be on the outside, and I turned myself in right before Christmas. And when I turned myself in, when I turned myself in, the jail, their jail went crazy. Because I blew up 2017, I went to jail 2018, so I was really like at my peak right there. So when the jail went crazy, they like, "Oh, he's somebody, so we got to put him up." So they put me. I was in isolation for a week, and that jail cell was so small, so tiny. I'm like, "Hey, y'all gotta move me," and so they finally moved me to GP. And when I went to GP, my new cellmate, he's like, "Hey, where you from?" I'm like, "I'm from Florida." Then he's like, "Do you believe in Jesus?" I'm like, "Yes, sir, I do." So within a month and a half, he was my minister, and with him ministering to me, he was and he had like a lot of faith books, so I was learning about the gospel. And when him ministering to me during that month and a half, like I had to get to it. I was on my bunk, my cellular was asleep, and I was worshiping Jesus, and I laid down and I started crying, and I was very sad. And I can't tell you why I was sad, but I was sad. And I cuddled up in my blanket, and then I felt a presence come over me, a real presence come over me when I had my eyes closed. And I knew I wasn't tripping because I felt a physical touch, a warm, cozy touch just over me. And I embraced the feeling. And when the feeling went, it took my sadness away, and I was immediately filled with joy. And when the feeling went away, I hopped down. I hopped down, and at first I couldn't explain it, but I knew it was spiritual. I knew it was a spiritual moment going on. And when I hopped off my bunk, I woke my cellie up. I'm like, "Josh, wake up, wake up. Something just happened to me. Something came, I was singing, and I just started crying, and I can't explain it, but I'm sad. And it took my sadness away. And now I just can't explain it." And he was sitting on my right side, and he was like, he didn't question me or nothing, but he said it was the Holy Spirit. And so during that moment, it opened my eyes to that it's more than just this physical world. As humans, we're deceived A lot of us is deceived, and we're so deceived that we cultivated our world, the world that God given us at first authority over. He told us to replenish this earth and multiply it. But we've cultivated our world in sin. People live their everyday lives in sin, and they don't even know they're sinning. They're just deceived. But in that moment when I was in jail, the Holy Spirit came to my cell, and it was so real for me. I just knew that, I would never be the same. Now, when I got out of jail, I still lived in sin. I was excited to be out of jail, and I still lived in sin. But I was no longer doing the Boonk gang stuff. I had got rid of that before I even got jail, but I no longer did that. And I was on my spiritual path, but I wasn't really a man of God. What really made me give my life to Christ and fully live my life for Him, I have a brother. He's a good friend, but we bros. He got shot up doing a drug deal. It was a drug deal that went bad. He was in the car and he was serving the dyke. The dyke like, hey, I have somebody else who want to buy something from you. So he like, okay. He want to make some money. So she get out his car. Somebody come and just shoot up his car. And he gets shot up. Now he drives off. He immediately drives off. And he called on his mom. He called his mom. He said, "Mom, I'm dying. I just got shot up. I'm sorry, but I'm dying." His mom already lost a son in the streets. And she like, "Boy, you better call on Jesus. You better call on Jesus." Now you see, I know like people like you who run social media blogs and is in the world, y'all have a job to do, but I also have a job. And my job is to save souls. That's my job. Because there's people who don't know who Jesus is and don't know that this life is temporary. They don't know that. They think this life is it, but this life is not it. This life is temporary. One day your spirit will leave your body. One day my spirit will leave our body. And where we will be at is based on the decisions we make today. I don't know what you're doing in your everyday life, but if you're not living your life for God, your life could be taken like this, but your spirit will be somewhere for eternity. And that's either going to be with your Creator or away from Him in the pit of fire, hell. So when I tell you my life story, it's deeper than this. It's deeper than this, than just me in the interview. No, I'm trying to save a soul, and I'm trying to save every soul who watches this interview, because that's most important. I tell people, anybody who come across me, that if I didn't have an encounter with God, I still would have been living that Boonk gang life, because even when I wasn't putting hands on people or harming people or robbing people, and I was just chilling, sleeping with females, making money, I still would have been living that life, because I'm not hurting nobody. I'm just sleeping with females, making money. That's all I'm doing, enjoying life. I still would have been doing that, but I had a real encounter with God. And now that I had a real encounter and I've seen God, I see that even though I wasn't quote unquote doing anything, I was still living in sin. And I still would have been in hell. You could be a morally good man, but without Jesus, you're going to hell. Because Jesus is the only way to enter the kingdom. So my bro, he got shot. He called his mom and said, "Mom, I'm dying. I'm sorry, but I'm dying." She said, "You better call on Jesus, boy. You better call on Jesus." That phone call led to him, that seed being planted to call on the Lord. He gets out the car. and try to walk to the nearest house to get help. But he couldn't walk. So he fall on his knees. And he said, God, Jesus, forgive the shooter and forgive me for my sins. And he couldn't talk no more. And his spirit left his body. And he was pronounced dead on the scene. The police and his mom had to trace his phone to find his body. But he was already lifeless on the scene. Now, I was sitting in front of this man with breath inside his body, telling me his story, his testimony, and everything God allowed him to see in the spirit. Like I said, this is life, but this life is temporary. And when we leave this body, it's more life. But it's either life with God or it's life in hell. And that's eternity. So I got this man sitting in front of me who was pronounced dead. His body was cut wide open, bullet holes in him, telling me that Jesus is real. My encounter that I had a couple years ago in jail was the seed that God planted in me through my cellmate. That seed was watered by my brother sitting in front of me, got shot up, pronounced dead on the scene, telling me that the Lord is real. So in that moment, I repented 2.5 years ago. I repented for my sins and I went online, and from then forth, I told everybody that Jesus Christ is real. And ever since then, I've been growing into the man of God, becoming the man of God I am today, and still becoming. And that was my change. And that was my change. That's what made me change. That's why I'm changed. And that's why I am how I am. And I will forever be like this because I know the truth. I know what's real. I know the truth. And I'll be a fool to sit in front of another man, in front of another woman, and act like God isn't real. To act like God didn't give us this life that we have today. Act like God didn't pour his breath, breathe his breath inside of us, and just ignore him. I would be a fool to go through what I went through and then not share with somebody else. Hey, do you know about our Lord Jesus Christ? I'd be a fool. That's why I say, bro, this is more than just an interview. This is me trying to save a soul. Now, whether you listen or not, I can't make you listen. I can't make you listen. I could only give you my testimony, and I could only share with you what I've been through. You have to make the decision for yourself.
Speaking of saving the soul, Kodak has been going viral lately because he looks like he's on drugs. And we posted you as well. You reached out to Kodak, and you pretty much told him your situation. You told him you've been through that same thing, and if he needed help, you extended your hand to Kodak Black. Let's speak on that. Like, because a lot of his fans, like Whack 100, spoke out and said nothing's wrong with Kodak.
When every time I open, I don't want to really necessarily speak on him too much because I don't know his situation, but I do know that from what it looks like to me on the outside looking in, is that every time he's in front of the media, that he's tweaking. His jaw to the side, he could barely form a word, form a sentence, and it that was me when I was on drugs. And when I look at it and read his comments, everybody's just talking about him. When that was me on drugs, everybody just talked about me. They made videos about me. They laughed at me and everything like that. I didn't have nobody reach out to me and share the gospel with me or try to get me some help. Everybody just made blogs, memes, and videos, and under the comments just made fun of, laughed, and put an expiration date on me. But hey, glory be to God, because I prevailed over that. And from so coming from a man who was once in that position, what type of man would I be if I just sit there and watch that brother go through what he's going through? You know, I tell you that I'm a man of God, and as a man of God, God tells me to love my neighbor as I love myself. And I love myself so much that that I try to avoid them situations. That I love myself so much, I would have reached out to myself if I know what I know. You get what I'm saying? So with me knowing what I know and used to being in that position, I reach my hand out to him to say, bro, it just don't look good looking from the outside looking in. And I made the video to let him know, like, if he's able to reach out to me for somebody who's truly care. I'm not like the blogs who's going to make a video about you to boost up my page. I'm not like the people who just gonna laugh at you and act like, because, bro, for the rest of the world, it's just entertainment. It's not entertainment to me. I don't look at people as entertainment, but the rest of the world do. They look at people as entertainment. They look at people in position, people in power as entertainment or whatever. But I look at everybody as a soul. I look at every single person as a soul, because that's what we are. We're souls, bro. Now, you're either a lost soul or a found soul in the Lord. And as a man of God, I'm just doing what God tells me to do.
What drugs were you doing at your peak?
I was on pills. Yeah, but it's
What is that like? Is that perks? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily feel comfortable to endorse the drugs I was on. I was just on pills.
And how did you defeat that habit?
I mean, honestly, I just knew it was shoot. I mean, people, I've get it. Like, a lot of people ask me this question, like, how do you? I mean, bro, I just stopped. Like,
did jail help with
Nah, cause when I got out of jail, I still, like I say, when I got out of jail, I was still living worldly. You get what I'm saying? So I was still chasing drugs. I was still doing drugs. I was still chasing women, and I was still chasing money. I was chasing the things of the world. But I mean, honestly, bro, just like over time, I just stopped.
What's your relationship with your mom? Cause she went viral recently, claiming everything you said about your childhood was a lie. You're not from the hood. You didn't eat out the dumpster. What's y'all relationship now? Are y'all on speaking terms? Is it?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you this. This is every mom. This is every single mom. When you put a mom on camera, they're gonna paint a picture as if everything is perfect. This is every single mom. Your mom will do this. Will come on camera and paint a picture as if it's perfect. But I'm not like that. I'm going to tell people the real. Every single mom will get on camera and paint a picture as if their household is perfect and was perfect. And women do things, women have a certain way they go about things, bro. So because she's my mom, I didn't feed into it, and I'm not going to feed into it, because God say, honor your father and mother and your days should be longer.
That's right.
So I'm not going to feed into it. But I'm going to tell you this. I gain nothing from getting on camera and telling people a lie. I don't benefit from that. I don't benefit from that. What do I benefit from telling somebody that I was abused, that I grew up a certain way, that I had to eat out the dumpster? If anything, I get like, that's something people will make fun of me about. So I have no reason to get on camera and be flawed or paint a picture of myself, I don't gain nothing from that. So, but with the relationship with my mom, she's my mother. Whatever she go on camera and do and say about me, I give it to God. I give it to God. He will handle that. And in time, everything that's broken or whatever will be restored. But as of right now, I treat her as if she's my mom because she is my mom. And whatever she says on the internet, I'm fine with it. I'm gonna continue sharing my story, my experience as a child, and everything that I've been through.
I mean, was it heartbreaking though when you seen the videos online?
I didn't watch them. I didn't pay attention to them. I don't feed into the things that other people do. I don't feed into it because it does nothing for me. All it's gonna do is alter my thoughts. At least I will be tempted. My thought, like, uh, I seen like the captions of it and everything it say, but I didn't feed into it, bro. Honestly, I haven't watched not one single video of it. Now I have friends and family call me and tell me about it, but I don't feed into that. God says, those who are controlled by their sinful nature thinks of sinful things. The only way I will the only way I would think about sinful things and stuff like that, if I feed my soul, my spirit, them sinful things. If I know, like, if I engage in that I'll be tempted to think sinfully. I'll be tempted to react sinfully. But he said, then the scripture continues, but those who are ruled by the spirit thinks of things that pleases the spirit. So I see it. I immediately prayed about it. I gave it to God. And I did my best with people and family hitting my phone to tell them, hey, I'm not engaged into it. You don't have to send me this. And I just continue doing what God wants me to do. You get what I'm saying? Because, bro, it's easy. I mean, it's not easy, and not for everybody. But for me, I'm focused on God, and that's my main focus. That's my main focus. Anything that deters me, that tries to deter me from God, I know is of the devil. So I don't engage into certain things, and I don't direct my focus to certain things because I know that I'm on a mission. So
Now, throughout your career, well, your past self, your old self, the character, I should say, you started gaining more face tattoos. Is that something that you regret?
no, I don't regret my face tattoos because I didn't get my face tattoos because I was playing a character. I got face tattoos because I like tattoos. I got tattoos all over my body. I just like tattoos. And for me, the face is free game. The face is a part of my body. I just like tattoos. And a lot of Christians, they'd say, hey, well, now that you're saved, will you get your face tattoos removed? No, I won't, because you're asking me a question God didn't ask me himself. God didn't say, hey, before you come be my son, I want you to remove your face tattoos. You see, humans look at the outer appearance. God look at the heart. God is not sitting here. He's like, you see, look like this. You're a man with no face tattoos. I don't see any face tattoos on you.
No.
But I have a face full of tattoos, but my heart could be purer than your heart.
Absolutely.
So my face tattoos is just, it's a part of me. It's who I am. And I've gotten my face tattoos because I like tattoos. And for me, the face is as free as my hands. It's free as I got tattoos on my toes. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a part of who I am. And I don't regret anything because God is going to use everything for his glory. Because I could go into the hoods looking just like this and preach the gospel, and a man like you or a preacher may not be able to enter the same hoods and preach the gospel that I can because I look apart.
Right. Which tattoo is the most meaningful to you?
Um, um, It might be the third eye tattoo I have.
Okay.
But I have misunderstood on my face. I have vagabond tatted on my face. Vagabond meaning never having a steady place of home. I've always had to move from friend to family, streets. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a vagabond, never having a steady place of home. Uh, I have love scars, misunderstood. I got the eye. I got the peace sign. I got a heart for love. But I like the all-seeing eye. It recently became one of my favorites. You know, just all-knowing, all-seeing. You know, God is all know. I'm not God, you know, but God is all-knowing, all-seeing. But you know, I'm made in the image of God. I carry the Imago Dei, made in His image and likeness. Um, so it just make me just feel uh, I'm more like my Creator.
When you're out and about, do you get kind of crazy looks? You know, because some people think face tattoos represent
Nah,
thugs and
no.
and
No, and that's, I mean, I can honestly just say that's just the grace, just by the grace of God. That's just the favor God poured on my life because I don't get treated like everybody else with face tattoos. Even in the church, people love on me. I've been receiving love since I was a kid, and I mean that's just a favor that God poured on my life.
in an old interview on Vlad TV, you said that you didn't know your son's name and you never seen him.
Hmm.
Well, you seen him via FaceTime, but you didn't have a chance to see him yet. Have you? What's the update on that?
Yeah, I have a relationship with my son. Uh, I pay child support. I take him to school. I have him on a weekend, every other weekend. So he know who his dad is. I have a good relationship with my son.
Okay, that's what's up, man. And that's your only child now?
Yeah, I have more kids once I'm married.
Okay. Um, and Woe Vicky was your last girlfriend, right?
She
That was
was.
publicly,
Yeah, she was.
and y'all are no longer together. Okay. What happened to that?
Just unequally yoked. It just didn't work out.
Because she's not really y'all seem like two different people now.
Oh, I mean, I don't look into her life, so I wouldn't know.
I mean, it just seems like she doesn't really, you know, speak about God.
I
She
mean, I wouldn't know. I don't look into her life.
Well, I'm talking about when y'all were together.
When we was together,
Yeah, it just seemed like you were kind of going in another direction.
oh, I mean, I know she's a believer, but with me, I had a real encounter, so it's different. So I could seem more passionate about what I do because I had a real encounter. And like you know, for her, um, you know, I mean, from what I know, it's just she just haven't had that encounter yet, but she's still a believer. Me, I had an encounter, so I'm more passionate, and things is a lot more real when it comes to me. And not we're not saying things aren't that real for her, but like I could just be more passionate about when I speak and my videos and about how I carry myself and what I do because I had a real life encounter with the Holy Spirit, and that changes things. Paul, who was once Saul, was a killer of Christians. He killed Christians. He killed people in the name of the Lord. He thought he was doing the right thing. But when he had a real encounter with God, when he had a real encounter with Jesus, that same ambition, that same ambitious man that he was in the world, he used it for God because he had a real life encounter. And now we know Saul as the Apostle Paul, the one who wrote most of the Bible because he had a real life encounter. So with me, I had a real life encounter, so things is much different. It's a lot different. And for her, it's just, you know, she's finding herself. I'm still finding myself. We're all forever will be finding ourselves. But it's just things is much more real because I had a real life encounter for me.
When was the when do you think the transition started. Now you told me about the situation in jail, but there were a lot of things that happened in your life that were crazy. Even the Adam 22 interview where you were on drugs, you could barely stand. Uh, the broken jaw, the shootings. Like, at what moment were you like, you know what? I can't do this no more.
Honestly, uh, as a man, like as a human being, it made me feel bad every time I go to jail, and people with I see like a handful of people in there saying they're in jail right now. At the same time, I was in jail for something that I was promoting, or something that I was doing. So as a human being, it made me feel horrible because I didn't know I had that much influence, and just on people. And so that when I would be out in the streets and I hear how crowds of people talk about me, and it's just, before I had a very negative image in the minds of the people, and a lot of people don't know that I was stuck on survival mode. And even being stuck on survival mode, when I actually did get famous and it did work out for me the way I thought it would work, I didn't have a team of people. I was 20 years old, coming from the streets, being homeless, still making videos after being told that from my own mother that it's a phase, that it won't work out, that I'll never be successful, that I'll never make it. So hearing that and it actually working, it builds a demon inside somebody. Like, after hearing stuff like that from your own mother and then actually making it, it 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 formed something in me, like I told you I would. I told you so. And then, uh, like I say, being stuck on survival mode, it's like I was always just I was trying to get to the next level, get more, because I really come from sleeping in the streets, sleeping in the bathrooms, sleeping in abandoned homes, sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating food out of trash cans, stealing clothes and food. Like I really come from that. And unless you come from that, you don't know how that feels. You don't know how it feels to be in something like that, and then walk in the streets and see your own mother drive past you while you're sleeping in an abandoned building. And at a young age, man, that's traumatizing. That hurts. I'm in the streets, sleeping in an abandoned building, stealing food, while my mother is driving past me, staring me face to face, and she's headed home. That hurts, and that does something to somebody. That makes a person careless and not care for the next person. So people, they seen the outside and they seen how I carried myself, but they wasn't there in the moment when that built that person, that built that they wasn't there to see me get created into that person. Y'all wasn't there to see that. Y'all just judge me based on what I've done, but y'all don't see what created that person. And then fame, it just made it worse. It just made it worse. Because people who did love the videos, they boosted my head up. So it just made what was already created worse. And then, I just started getting human again when I go into jail, realizing that I'm influencing people to be in jail. When I'm on the streets and I hear crowds of people talking bad about me like I'm an evil person, it just made me human again. At least want to be human again and be a regular person, to be a nice person, to be John. Because like I say, I was born John. And it just made me want to be John again. Because I was never just an evil person. I've just come from a place where I had to get it.
Do you still listen to rap music
No,
at all?
I couldn't tell you the number one song today. I don't know. No,
And why is that?
it's because this. As a man of God, when I was listening to rap, uh, one rap influences is influential. Rap is like the number one influential thing in the world.
It is.
But what made me choose to stop listening to it, because as a man of God, I be trying to read the word or trying to do something uh like just clean up or do something simple, and I have like some rap lyrics playing in my head. I'm like, dang, this is poisoning my mind. It's poison to the mind, like literally, it's poison. And I'm like, the things that's playing in my head is so against the word of God. So I can't be a man of God wanting to uh live by the word fully. I don't. It's of course it's still things that God has to work in me and do like that. But I'm like, man, I got some derogatory lyrics playing in my head. It's just on repeat in my mind. I'm like, I have to stop listening to this because it's poison to my mind. And I haven't, bruh. It honestly probably been like a good year I ain't listened to rap.
Mm.
Yeah.
You think the internet fucked the world up?
I think the world been already messed up. It's just the internet just makes it more visible. It just exposes what already been going on. And I believe the internet it makes it easier for people to do crazier things. The internet makes more people courageous. It makes more people bold because they know if they do something crazy, they're gonna get attention. They're gonna get views, and so the world was already messed up. It was messed up when Adam and Eve bit into the fruit. The world been messed up since then, and it been crazy. It's been craziness. But the internet, it just exposes what been going on, and it adds on. It adds fuel by making people more courageous and bold because they believe that if they do this, they're gonna get views and it's gonna take them under the. So
Your story is crazy, man. I mean, coming from Jacksonville, Florida, the most dangerous city in Florida. Um, I mean, you done seen some crazy shit, huh? Growing up.
honestly, my mom, she kept me in the house growing up. Um, like I wasn't able to be outside. And that's another reason why like I was just so out there. Because at 20 years old I was finally out. I was finally able to do things. I wasn't able to do things as a kid. My mom really kept us housed. I wasn't able to have friends over. I wasn't able to go to friend houses. Now there was times where my mom did allow it, but for the main part, I couldn't go out. I couldn't even grow my hair out. Shoot, there was a time where I had a fro, and I was probably like 15, 16. Soon as I twisted my hair, my mom cut my hair off. So my mom was very strict, but my mom was mixed. She has a white mom and black dad. And so my grandmother's white. And my grandmother is not a traditional um, a white lady. She's a southern white lady, you know. So she raised my mom and my uncle like strict, you know. And my grandmother had to deal with things being with a black man, and black because my grandma, they was in the times where like that wasn't regular. You know what I'm saying? So uh, uh, my mom, just like anybody else, just like most people, they do what their parents did to them, to their kids, and it's a cycle. It's a cycle. It's a never ending cycle. So my mom, my mom was very strict. So I wasn't exposed to too much of of that lifestyle. Not until I start getting older, and what I what I was exposed to was just like um, honestly, yeah. I mean, even as I getting older, I was still stuck on survival mode, bro. I was running away from home. Shoot, like my life is just based on like survival, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just running away from home, stealing food, stealing clothes, trying to find a place to stay, trying to get it. Like that's what John come from. Like I wasn't uh out there like with the killing and I start like the gang. I didn't get it. I didn't get familiar with that until like when I was like 23, and I still ain't seen nothing crazy because I got jumped in the gang just for clout.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like who John is. John was just from 15 years old, just stuck on survival, looking for a place to stay, looking for a meal, looking for clothes. You know what I'm saying? That's who John is. That's where John come from. And then drugs. As I start getting in my 20s, drugs. And then that's John.
I mean, your transition is crazy. Seeing from where you started from to now is amazing. I just did an interview with Fulio, Jacksonville rapper, who was shot in the foot. It was brutal. And I was begging him, leave the streets alone, leave the streets alone. And he feels like he can't leave the streets alone. Once you're in the streets, you can never leave the streets. Is that somebody you could talk to and do you think you yourself, with everything you've been through, you can get Fulio to get out the streets or at least see something else in his life that's worth going after, like God, like Jesus?
No, I can't. I don't have the power to do anything. God does. Now I could plant seeds in them. I could plant seeds in them all day. But God gives the increase, and He has to make the decision for Himself.
Yeah, because I mean, the Jacksonville rap scene, man, it's a war going on.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And I have the grace to be able to go anywhere I want to in this city.
It's a
Anywhere I
beautiful
want to.
thing. It's a beautiful thing. A lot of people can't say that.
Yeah, I go anywhere I want to in this city. And like I say, I'm born and raised, so I actually have blood, like my family here. Everybody's here. You know what I'm saying? So, and speaking on that, I was shooting when I shot Holy Flow. I was in the hood, and I shot Holy Flow, and then my engineer, he was like, he just started naming rappers. He's like, bro, this is crazy. He like, so and so can't do this. So and so can't do this. They can't do this. I'm like, man, that's crazy. But like I'm comfortable being everywhere because like I say, bro, I'm born and raised. Like before I was who I am, like before nobody knew me, I was already doing that. I was already going everywhere. So it's just like nobody gonna take that away from me because I'm used to that. So even though I have a name, like I'm still on the north side. I don't be on the east side like that. That's because I don't really got nothing to do over there. But I'm still on the north side. I'm still on the south side, the best part. But I'm still on the west side. Like I'm still in the hood. But yeah.
With all this going on, I think you mentioned the documentary. What do you have coming, in the future? Are you going to write a book? Are you going to do panels? Are you going to juvenile facilities? What are you going to do to continue to spread the message?
I'm already going to schools. I'm already going to juvenile detention centers. I'm already going to churches, different churches and events, sharing my testimony. I've got a documentary coming out uh, about my life, my transition before I was saved and after I got saved. Uh, and I have a book that's in motion as we speak.
Okay. And is it releasing soon, or just trying to
It just got in,
putting it together?
yeah, the book just got into motion. The documentary dropping soon. That's dropping soon. But book is already in motion, and I don't believe I believe I'm gonna write multiple books. But the book, my first book, is already in motion as we speak. Documentary out, and I'm already in schools and juvenile detention centers and just going to churches and in the hoods. I'm already doing that. Yeah, it's just like I don't have so much of that on my social media because, like I say, this is not for that. This is not for social media. This is not for publicity. This is not for views. You know, it's like if I get content, praise God, but I don't do this for that. And now, who knows? Like 2 years from now, I might be more comfortable to share, and just to have content and share this out and put it out like that. But I'm about to be 3 years in this, and people don't really see too much content of me doing that because it's not for that. So if 5 years go by and I'm still not, or I just start putting content out, then y'all know like, dang, John, he ain't put out no content for like, this man was really about his faith. He was really about his walk. Like I only got 4 songs out. It's not because it's not about just being a Christian artist. It's not about music. It's not about that. No, I had a real encounter with God. So I want to know my Father. I want to know my Creator. I want to know more about God. I want to know about who I am as John, who He created me to be. So I have to I have to give Him all of my focus, and then other things will unfold. But as of right now, I want to know my Creator. I want to have a good relationship with my God. That's where I am at right now.
John Gabbana, man, I appreciate this interview. I love the growth. I love the transition. Man, I remember the first video that came out. You were everywhere. And I watched the trials and tribulations, and just to see where you're at now, man, it's a different level. And I would love to have you back on the show soon, man, and keep documenting your growth. And it's a beautiful thing, man, because a lot of people can't. It's a lot of people that's still doing the same thing they were doing 5-6 years ago, and you really found your way, man, and you found your reason and your purpose, man. And I salute you.
Glory be to God. I appreciate it. But like I say, if I didn't have my encounter, bro, I still would have been living the same way. But God, He came. He decided to come into my life and show me a new way. And as me, I decided to answer the call and live my life for Him. And you had this. So, man, I appreciate it though.